Hello, hello, hello. Checking if there's someone out there. Hello, hello, hello. Hello there. Hello, everyone. In today's topic, we're going to talk about a real life journey of a woman. Hello. Hello, hello, hello there. Hello, hello there. Thank you for joining. If you're listening and if you can hear me, can you say yes? Just type yes. And so I'm just waiting for a few more people to join before I can start this live chat. And in today's topic, we're going to talk about the journey of the real life journey of a woman, although men can listen to. So if everyone can hear me, just type yes. Then I'll know before I start, so I know um, you guys can hear me. Hello, hello. Thank you, everyone who is joining. Oh, thank you so much. So it's a yes. Hi there. Hi. Okay. Um, it looks like we have 9 people, so hopefully a few more people will be joining soon. So just give me 2 seconds and I'm going to start. Hello, I'm back. So, like I said in today's chart, basically we're going to talk about the real life journey of a woman. So, so as a child, as a young lady, this woman worked really hard. So, talking about school age, she worked really hard in school. She was never one of those children whose parents would remind to do the homework. This child did all her homework. This girl, this young girl, she did all the homework without the parents ever, not even once, reminding her to do her homework. She always knew when she had homework, when she was supposed to return it, and what the homework was about. So she understood the assignments and she did all the homework. If she ever needed help, she would ask her parents or her teachers, and she just get on with her work. She would even do extra, not just the homework given. She would ask the teachers for extra work, um, so that she can revise. She was very passionate. Anything that she had to do, she was very responsible, and she would make sure she sees it through. So she worked really hard throughout her school life, and she did really well. She did really well. She passed all exams with great marks. And the parents, she woke herself up in the morning. She asked the parents for alarm to buy her an alarm clock, and she knew what time school started. She knew how long it would take her to get to school. Of course, her parents would take her to school because she's still a child at this time. She knew what time she needed to wake up for school, get ready. Got herself ready. Very quick learner, and she would just ask her parents to take her to school, to make her breakfast and then take her to school. She'd do everything else herself. And because she's very responsible, her parents sometimes would feel like they're being left out. They want to to do things for her, but she'll say no. She'll say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. So she's doing everything herself. Obviously, her parents are watching and guiding her and everything, but she's and teaching her, just the basic things because she's still a child. But she picks up things really fast. Very independent, very energetic, very responsible at a very young age. Her parents never woke her up even once to go to school. Well, they did, but she always wake up at the right time because she has an alarm clock that she asked for herself, and she knows how to use it. Obviously, she was always on time to school, and like I said, at the end of it all, when she finished all the school years, she even went to university, um, and she got really good marks. She always worked overtime, you know. During Christmas time, Christmas holidays, when the school closes, they usually gave them homework because assignments, and they would normally have exams after Christmas when school reopens. And so I'm just reading the comments. Someone wrote, "Not my proudest goon." Right. Okay. So, during the time of Christmas, it's a very exciting time, lots of preparations, lots of excitement, and all that. And everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. No, most people are off work, and obviously schools are closed. So she would be celebrating like everyone else, but only for a few hours, and then she'll be locking herself in the bedroom, studying, revising, doing this assignment, doing that, working, always working. Everyone, the friends and parents, friends, parents, they'll know that this girl, she always work. She work, studying, always studying. Everywhere she goes, she'll carry a book with her to read. She could go to a party. She will spend at least 2 hours during that party studying. She'll pick a corner in wherever they are in a party where it's a bit quiet. She put a headset in her ears, and she'll start reading a book. Always revising, carrying books everywhere. And her friends will look at her and think, "What is wrong with you? Why do you always have to study? Can't you leave that for next time?" But all this hard work she's putting in, for her, is not a problem. Some people work so hard. For them, it doesn't bother them. All this extra time they're putting into hard work, hardship. For them, it doesn't feel like hard work. They could work like 12 hours a day. No, not 12 hours. They could work literally 24 hours a day. And well, not one day is 24 hours. They could work, literally work the whole 24 hours in one day. And for them, it doesn't feel like work because it's what they like doing. It's not work. Everyone else see them thinking, "You're working too much. You're working too hard. You must be tired. This must be boring, annoying," but not to them. So, school's finished, university done and dusted. By the way, when it came to going to university, picking what she wanted to study at university, for some reason, she didn't know. She didn't know what she wanted to study at university. And to be honest, she didn't know what she wanted to become as an adult in terms of career. She did not know. So everyone was confused about it. How come you don't know? Because you seem very responsible, like you seem like you've got everything together. How come you don't know what you want to study at university? She said she doesn't know. She doesn't know how to choose like this. She sees so many different professions and so on and so forth, and she doesn't know what she resonates better with. Like, she doesn't know if she wants to be a doctor. She doesn't. I don't know. It's not. Maybe not, she doesn't. She just doesn't know if she wants to be a doctor, teacher, lawyer, anyone, any of the professions. She has no idea. None of the professions appeal to her, so she can't choose. And if she has to choose, one time she tried to just to help her choose. So she got herself a work experience in the medical industry. And she worked alongside doctors, and she did that so she can understand why maybe she could be a doctor, but she didn't know why she wanted to be a doctor. Because on the application form, you have to explain whatever course you choose to go to study at university, you've got to explain why you want to do it. She can never answer that question. So she got herself that work experience, went to work along doctors, just thinking, you know what, just pick one course. And so she thought maybe medicine, right? And while she was doing the work experience, she asked us to have a little interview with one of the doctors there. And the doctor said that's fine. So they picked a date and time. And during work, she sat um, in the interview room. It was just her and the doctor. And she was just telling the doctor, I'm trying to pick a course to study at university. I'm not sure what. So I thought maybe why not medicine? For some reason, she doesn't know why, but why not medicine? But she doesn't really know how to answer the question, why do you want to study medicine? So for her to understand why she would want to study medicine, so she asked, um, so I'm just gonna pause so I can read the comments. I'll carry on after the comments. Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, just pick a course. I don't know. Should I study law or maybe film or maybe not go to university? Yeah, I don't know. So, anyway, so she asked this question. She asked that doctor this question. So, you're a doctor, right? And he said, yeah, of course, I am. And she said, so, what do you do? Can you just explain to me what it is that you do as a doctor? So, the doctor was explaining the job and everything. And she was like, okay, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And then she asked, so what made you want to study medicine? And the doctor explained. So then the doctor asked her, so do you want to study medicine? Is this all so you can gather, so you can get a background understanding of maybe why you want to be a doctor? I said yes. And so the doctor asked her, so do you now know why you want to be a doctor? Um, um, and so the doctor asked, do you know why you want to become a doctor? After this, obviously it was the end of the interview, and the young girl said, not really. Still, no, still, I don't know why I would want to be. She tried to explain just briefly why she would want to be a doctor, but the doctor was not convinced enough. The doctor said, well, it's an all right reason, but you really need to think deep about this. You really need to know the real reason why you want to be a doctor. And she said, the problem is, I don't know what career path to follow. So because of that, I don't know what course to take so I can study at university. Um, right. So that was the end of that interview. And so she finished the work experience and went back to college, back to school. And so she didn't know what she wanted to study. So, but she tried to go through medicine anyway. So she applied to medical schools. She was called for interviews. She went. She did all the preparations you need to do, for medical school. Um, no, actually, she was never called for for an interview. No, she didn't. So, because to be honest, even though she was so smart in school and she tried her best. She did not get the grades that she needed to go to university, to study medicine at university. She didn't. So because of that, um, and she wasn't actually given, she wasn't asked, she wasn't shortlisted to go for interviews. So she thought maybe I shouldn't become a doctor because obviously out of all these universities I've applied for and the role for medicine, um, none of them have called her in for an interview. And she didn't actually get the grades she needed, the results from exams that she needed to actually go on and study medicine. And to be honest, she didn't have, at the time, she didn't have anyone who would advise her better, who knows the background of these things and advise her better. So anyway, she gave up on medicine, and she did not want to take a gap year to just maybe really think, think, think things through and find out what it is that she wanted to do with her life. So she went to university anyway because her grades, the grades that she got, they were not up to standards with medicine, but they were high still. They're very high for any other courses, for any other university courses. So she went and studied a different course, a completely different course at university. Um, well, and then she finished university, graduated. Even then, she didn't know what she wanted to do, what career she wanted to do. She literally, at the in the last year of her university course, she was applying for jobs that are related to the course she studied. She was applying for work experiences and all that. She went for interviews, but she did not get the jobs. And on the graduation day, she nearly did not go um to on a graduation, to get her what's it called, to get the graduation ceremony. She nearly did not go because she was feeling really down. She thought she would get a job straight away after university because she has been applying, and so she's thinking, what now? What's going to happen now in my life? Hello, hi. Um, she didn't know what's going to happen with her life. She's finished university. She's just waiting to go to graduate. Like few days, in few days, she's going to for graduation ceremony, and she doesn't have a job lined up for herself. And now she's thinking, what now? She doesn't know what's going to happen to her life. No job. She's just going to keep applying. Um, she did not live at home while studying at university because she moved out of her family home to go and study at university. So she lived away from home. And then, hello. And so, yeah, she was feeling a bit sad, happy, but sad at the same time. Happy because of she's graduating. Sad, the fact that she has to come back and live at home. She didn't want to come back to live at home. She wanted to get a job, a graduate job, with a hopefully decent salary, and then just like rent somewhere and start living independently, like on her own. That's what she wanted. But without a job lined up, it meant she had to go back and live with her family. Um, Although she had no problem with that, the only problem is she feels like she's an adult now. She should move out and be more responsible. But yeah, so that's the only thing that was upsetting her, that was making her feel down. And so she went to graduation, and then she had to come back and live at home with her family. In the meantime, she was applying for jobs like almost every day, and it took her a whole year before she could get a job. 1 year after graduation, she finally got a job, and she started working. But the job she got is not in the. It was just a job somewhere. Up until this time, she doesn't know she still doesn't know what career, what career path to follow. Can you imagine? She's getting older. Honestly, not everyone knows what they want to do with their lives in terms of career. She doesn't know. The job she's working, she's making money, but she's not sure. Even the job she's doing, she doesn't know if that's what the job she wants. So I don't know if everyone knows what job they want to do. There's so many jobs, there's so many professions and careers out there, but not everyone know, and everyone is expected to know what career they want to do, what profession um they want to be in. But it seems like not everyone know what profession what career they're gonna be doing when they're older. And in this particular case, this lady, as a younger version, she didn't know what she wanted. She wanted to work as, what her title would be. I don't know. Would she be a doctor? Would she be a lawyer? Would she be a dentist? I don't know. Would she be a teacher? Or and so on and so forth. She doesn't know. And she does, to be honest, she does not actually feel like being any of those. So life is going on. She's getting older. She's working. Before things just happen, before you know it, she falls in love, and before you know it, she's married, and she got children. She's actually has children now. So she's a woman now, right? But before we jump into all those steps, like we're not jumping anything. So she got a job 1 year later after graduating. She got a job. Um, Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Hello, thank you for joining. 1 year later, after graduation, she got a job somewhere. Not a big job or anything, but she's getting paid, so she's making some money. Because remember, in that 1 year gap after graduating, she had zero money. She was making no money. She didn't have a job anyway, so she wasn't making any money at all. So her bank account was zero, it was dry. So she had to ask her family as an adult, as a 20 something year old, um, money for every single thing, every single need that she had during that 1 year. She had to ask her family, literally. If she wanted to go out with her friends, she had to ask her family for money, for pocket money. And every single time she had to do that, she was heartbroken. She felt useless, worthless, because guess what? All her other friends, they're working somewhere, they have jobs. Some are making more money than others, and they're living independently. Some live at home, that's right, but they still have jobs, right? They're working and they're making money, and they're planning their lives. They're going on holidays because they can afford to. They're saving up for mortgages because they can. But she went a whole year without. She wanted those things as well, but she couldn't afford to have them, and it broke her heart. It broke her heart a lot. Every time she goes to she looks at her bank account, zero. There's zero money in there for a whole year. She felt so miserable. She fell into depression. It was that bad. She fell into depression, and she was depressed the whole year. And that didn't stop her from applying. She kept applying. She kept applying, praying as well. On top of that, it was a miserable year for her. But finally, she got a job. Excited. She was so excited to get a job, and she her first salary, the first salary she got from a proper job, she decided to spend, because she was still living at home. So she decided to spend that first salary on herself. She did not save, nothing. The whole salary as it came, she opened the bank account and she saw all that money, and she decided to treat herself. She went to do shopping. She shopped, bought anything she wanted, perfume, name it. She bought. She spent the whole money, the whole salary, just on herself. And she did that intentionally. She wanted to do that. She wanted to feel that. And then decided any other salary she gets from from that from that moment, from that month, she'll start saving and planning a future. Um, and that's exactly what she did. So bear in mind the job that she's working is not like a dream job or anything, but he's paying her bills. And it's not like she's not like a top boss somewhere or anything like that. But it's better than not having a job at all, right? So she started saving and all. And still at this point, she doesn't know what career she wants to do. Like, she doesn't have like a proper title or anything like that. So, so give me 2 minutes, guys, and I'll be back. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to step away for something, but I'm back now. So this lady, this is her real life journey. Um, she hi. So she went abroad. She decided to go on a vacation or holiday to clear her head. So remember, the first salary she ever made, she decided to splash it on herself, all of it. Her first month's salary. That's like the most money she has ever made because she was a student just recently, like a year ago. So she didn't have that much money. Um and this is the most she has ever made in 1 month, because now she's working, and that first month she spent it all, every single penny, on herself. And that felt really good. She had no savings whatsoever, but she spent every single penny of that money on herself. She bought anything and everything she wanted. Literally, she treated herself, and that felt really good. She felt really good about it. And then she paid for a holiday or vacation, and she felt so good. And then she said, you know what, now I'm going to settle down. And by that she means like start saving for a mortgage, so she can have a deposit for a mortgage, just like her friends are doing, because that's what her circle of friends are doing, and she was the only one who felt left out. So she was doing that. She was saving up, and she was working even extra shifts, picking up shifts here and there, just so she can save quicker. And before she knew it, she had met a boy. She met a guy. She fell in love. They fell in love, and life felt really good. They were dating and this and that. Before you knew it, very quickly, the boy proposed to her, and she said yes. And then they got married very soon after that. And before you knew it, they have now, she's not living at home anymore with a family where she doesn't pay bills or rent or anything like that. And she could save more. Now she's living with this guy. Well, her husband now, and she's having to pay rent and bills and all that. So it got a bit tough financially because she's still saving up for a mortgage. She then told her, her husband, um, she's saving to buy a mortgage. And the husband said, "That's a great idea. Why don't you do it together?" So he put money away as well. Always been saving, and he's been saving for years. He said they put it all together and said, "We're gonna get a mortgage together in both our names. That way, it'll just be easier for them because it means they can save faster and get mortgage faster." Because they were even planning to have kids and all that. Everything went really fast from getting married, from getting dating to getting engaged, from there to getting married, and they were saving up for a mortgage. And before you knew it, they had a first child, and they still don't have a mortgage yet. They still don't have that deposit for a mortgage. So they were moving really fast, and they were still in their twenties, in the early 20s. Um, So they're still in the early 20s. Um, and then they said, you know what, this is going fast. Um, and then they finally had the deposit to get their mortgage, and they did. So they went ahead and got themselves a mortgage. But by this time, they already have the first child. Now remember, this is a story about the real life journey of a woman. So I'm just gonna concentrate on the woman for now. So how her life changed. She tells the story of how everything changed when she had her first child, right? One day, she was in work, she was working and everything, and she finished work. Her husband came to pick her up from work because he had finished work earlier. And then he traveled from his workplace to her workplace to pick her up from work, and they were planning after work. He normally picks her up from work because he normally start work early and finishes early. Starts work a bit later and she finishes a bit later. So then he has time to go pick her up from her workplace, and then they go home together. So this particular day, he picked her up from work in the evening after she finished work, and they decided. I know she was telling him she's not feeling well. She was telling him she's just not feeling herself. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't have a temperature, but she's feeling like she's gonna throw up, but she's not throwing up. And she's telling him her clothes don't quite. She's bloated a lot, so her clothes don't quite, like her jeans don't fit her properly anymore. Like something just feels off. Her moods are. She goes mood swings all of a sudden. And so he said he wanted to cheer her up. And he said, okay, let's go bowling. Let's go play bowling after work. And she said, okay. So they went bowling. They normally enjoy playing bowling together. Um, but that day it was boring because he kept winning. And then she hated the fact that he was winning. And she wanted to be winning, but she couldn't, And so she got angry and she got upset and she said she doesn't want to play that game anymore. Let's go home. So they went home, grabbed something to eat, and then went home. She was grumpy the whole time because he was winning. He found it really ridiculous and funny, but he wanted to cheer her up and said, "Okay, that's fine. Let's just go." You know. These two are very loving and very cute together, by the way. Um, and then next day she start thinking. She realized she wasn't. She was not behaving like herself. She was behaving really weird. So then she realized she could be pregnant. She could because there were all the signs of pregnancy were there. She just hadn't done the test. So she told the family that she's pregnant. No, well, she didn't say she's pregnant. She told her family she might be. She hasn't done the test because it's been things have been off, really off, and um and if, so she said, you know what, I'm just gonna do the test to find out. Let's see if that's what it is. So she did the pregnancy test, and of course, it said she's pregnant. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe she was pregnant. Obviously, she could believe it, but she, because it's her first, right? So that was the first pregnancy ever. She just couldn't, like, she spent her whole life trying not to get pregnant. Like, for her, pregnancy would be like, no, 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 no. Like, the last thing on her mind. And now to know that she's pregnant, that the same thing that she's been trying to avoid for so many years, and now she's pregnant. So she's like, it's just like that realization, like what? Um, and then when she went to the doctors for a checkup, they told her she was already 6 months, 6 weeks pregnant. So in her mind, she does not understand how pregnancy works. So in her mind, she thought, so she's been pregnant for 6 weeks and she just found out that she's pregnant. So which means that very first week that she was pregnant, she didn't know. She's been eating all sorts, she's been doing whatever while being pregnant, she didn't know. Um, because she thought the minute you're pregnant, that same minute you should know. You know what I mean? You should know. But anyway, she was just amazed. Like it's been 6 weeks and she didn't know that she was pregnant up until now that she's feeling weird. Yeah, that it's just that realization. But anyway, um, she goes on now that she knows she's pregnant. For some reason, she's thinking she'll be eating for two because that's what she's been hearing. Women say when you're pregnant, you're now eating for two. But her appetite wasn't there, so she thought something was wrong with her. She went to the doctors and asked, "Why am I should be eating. I should be eating for two now, right? But I don't have the appetite to eat that much. Is that bad for the baby? And am I doing something wrong?" And they said, "No, no, no. Actually, they told her you shouldn't be eating for two. Actually, just eat normal. Eat until you're full. That's it. And then also eat. You need to eat more healthier, like more greens, more salads and stuff like that, and folic acid and all that. All those things the doctors tell pregnant women." And she's like, "Oh wow!" So that's when she start realizing that she needs to change her lifestyle. Like that's the first thing that made her think, "Well, my life is changing now." She can't just eat whatever she eats, like things that she used to eat, or whatever time. Like some days, because she used to just eat bizarre, she would go hours and hours without eating. For her, it wouldn't bother her. She could just eat once a day, and that's it. Miss breakfast, mix just a little bit once a day, and that's it. And she's okay with it. But now she's realizing her life is has changed because now she has these rules of like, oh, eat more greens, which she didn't used to eat much of before. More salad. Um, don't go hungry for hours and hours, and make sure you drink a lot, like water, drinking water, and then also like don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, and things like that, and exercise more. She was like, what is going on? Like, so many rules. And she's thinking, why? And she's following every single one of these rules, obviously, because she cares about a new unborn baby. But at the same time, she's thinking, this is work. Yeah, because everything's changing now. This is actually work. I have to be like strict. I have to follow these and that and that. And she's like, what? This is, I didn't expect this. And so she start things are getting worse because she start feeling even worse, like throwing up and all these symptoms of pregnancy. And she's saying, this is hard work. Just carrying a whole human being is work. And then she's going to work on top of that. She's saying, I'm doing two jobs. She's telling her husband every day, I actually feel like I'm doing two jobs every single day. Even on my days off from the job that I get paid for, I feel like I'm still working because she's just tired the whole time. Every day she's tired. Even for doing nothing, she's still tired. Anyway, so zero appetite the first few months because she's busy throwing up almost every day. So she's not eating much. And then after, in the middle of the pregnancy, she has loads of appetite now. And she's eating like crazy. When they say eat for two, she's actually eating for three, not just for two. And she's feeling really lazy. She's this type of pregnant person who would not lift a finger because they're that tired all the time. I don't know if I'll call it lazy. It's not really lazy because your body's working too much. Anyway, but she won't do a thing. She's too tired, always exhausted, always sleepy, and all she wants to do is eat, watch something, watch TV, a little bit of TV, and then sleep. And the way she would sleep, it was not like a normal sleep. It's like just passing out. She she wake up in the morning, literally wake up in the morning, ask her husband for breakfast. She'll go and brush her teeth and take a shower, come back, change, and then her husband will make her breakfast. She'll eat it while watching TV, and then before she finish, as soon as she's full, she'll pass out, like full deep sleep, and she just woke up. And this is morning, passed out on the couch, and the husband knows her. That's just how she is. And so she'll sleep there for like good 2 hours, and then she'll wake up and ask her husband, "What happened? What happened? Did I fall asleep on here?" And he will say, "Yes, you did." And she'll do that every single time, and then she'll watch TV again, maybe walk around for a bit. Then she'll be hungry. She would eat a lot. Every 2 or 3 hours she has to eat a meal, a whole meal, because that's how hungry she will be. Very hungry. She was very hungry. After 3 hours, she will get so hungry. And when I say hungry, this is mad. It's not like a normal hunger that she had before she was pregnant. There's like two different types of hunger, honestly. Before she was pregnant, she would get hungry, like desperately hungry, and then she would eat like a normal hunger. But this one, now that she's pregnant, when she's hungry, which is every 3 hours, by the way, she would, it would be too much. It's like she can't tolerate this hunger. It just comes really fast. She gets hungry really fast, rushing, and then she cannot wait for the food to be ready or for the food to be served or for the food to be cooked. She can't wait. It's not that she's pretending or she's just being annoying, or literally her body, her system cannot wait for food. And the longer she waits, she start getting sweaty. She literally sweats from head to toe. Water is falling down her from head to toe on her body. You can see the sweat, the water. And her body, she never knew what that was. Her body, inside her body, she'll be boiling. She'll be hot. The temperature will rise. You feel her. Her body temperature is high. She's hot and she's sweating a lot. And she starts feeling really dizzy and then she faints. Literally falls down and she faints. You pass out like that because of hunger. If she doesn't eat anything, she ended up fainting in the middle on the road. She was on the way. She was on the road outside. She was going somewhere. No, it was after a doctor's appointment, one of the appointment, and she got there, did the appointment. She had some vaccines, whatever. After that, she was going somewhere else. So she was waiting for a bus to get on the bus and get somewhere else that she was going. And she started feeling hungry. And this hunger was just rushing, it's like mad, rushing. And she, because her body can't handle that kind of hunger, it makes it really hot, sweaty, and then she passes out. She literally fell at the bus stop. She fell down because she got really dizzy and she fell down. And people at the bus stop were scared. They were saying, "What? Someone just passed out. Someone fainted." And everyone is shouting, like, "Oh, are you okay?" Everyone like surrounding her. And she lost consciousness for a bit. But the more people were shouting because they were panicking, they just saw someone fainting and they were panicking and talking to her, this and that. And so the voices became really loud. All of a sudden, she started hearing these voices from the distance. Although they were not from a distance, they were really close to her because everyone was surrounding her. And then she heard them, and then she got up. And they asked her, "Are you okay? You fainted. You just literally fell." She felt like a sack of potatoes or sack of sand or something like that. Because she fainted. And then she told them, "Oh, sorry, that happens. It actually happens a lot when I'm hungry. I'm starving. And that happens, and it's because I'm pregnant. That's what happened. It's I'm okay. It's just that I'm pregnant and I can't handle hunger when I feel hungry like that." So he said, "Oh wow." And then she got on the bus and she went. She still went where she was going, but she went to eat first and then she carried on. But that's how she gets. And then she told the husband later on about it, and it was like, wow, wow. But then when that happened again, but this time she was with her husband. They were just having a walk, like a just having a walk, a normal walk, and all of a sudden she was hungry. She was hungry, and her husband saw it firsthand the first time. He was like, she kept telling him, "I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I need to eat. I need to eat." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just gonna go. Let's go to there's the restaurant right there. Let's go there." And they were waiting in the queue to get served. And then she kept saying, "I'm dizzy. I'm tired. I'm sweating. I can't wait. I'm hungry. Get me something, a drink or anything." And he said, "No, no, no. We're about. It's almost our turn to be served." But she couldn't wait. Before you knew it, her husband was like, "Wow, you're sweating." And she said, "Yeah, yeah, it is. I'm really hungry. That's how I get." And then before he could say anything, she fell. She fainted again. And this time, her bump was really big. She had a huge bump, and she fell. And she was. Luckily, he quickly managed to catch her before she hit the floor. Managed to catch her, and he started panicking himself. He was like, "What's going on? Oh no." So he got her to sit somewhere and quickly got her food, and she started eating and she was better again, like nothing happened. And so he asked her, "What happened? What was that? What was that all about?" And she was explaining, like, when I say I'm hungry, it means I'm gonna pass out like in the next 2 seconds if I don't get any food. So her body cannot tolerate hunger at all. She has to eat all the time. Every 3 hours, she has to eat. That was a weird one. She spoke to a doctor about it. The doctor said it's just part of pregnancy. That's just how pregnancy is treating you. Everyone goes through different things when it comes to pregnancy. So that's her pregnancy journey. And she was thinking, yes, my life has changed, obviously for the best. But wow, it's new, it's new. Um, and then they had a baby, and then they had a situation where they had to think about how she had to think about how she's gonna go back to work. How on earth is she going to go back to work now that she has a baby? Because before she would work, any shifts she would do it. She even pick up extra shifts. But now she can't do that. She can't just pick extra shifts because she has another shift at home. Childcare. Yeah, she had to think like I can't even go back to where the way I used to work, the hours, the shift, and all that, because who's gonna look after my baby? And then they were thinking, oh, put the baby in the daycare. Then they realize they can't afford daycare because now they got a mortgage that is very expensive. They're paying for, and so it's taking up all the money. They really don't have much left for daycare. And so it was all crazy. And they thought, okay, what if she becomes a stay-at-home mom, and then her husband continues working? Then that wasn't an option either because they realized the money that he will be working, even if he gets promoted in his job, the money still won't be enough to cover everything. Yes, they might be saving on daycare, but they will not have enough money to cover everything. Um, so she still needed to work, but not. She has to work part time instead of full time. So financially, it was a little bit of setback, but better than if she quits her job altogether and become a stay-at-home mom, because then they'll be proper short of money, and to a point where they can't pay almost half the bills. So, and that's when she got into depression because of that. Because she realized she didn't want to work. She just wanted to stay at home and look after a child. But that wasn't an option. So when it was time for her to go back to work after maternity leave, she was lucky enough to get maternity leave, by the way. Um, she realized she cried the first day back in work. She spent the whole day crying. Everyone, because she had worked in that place for a long time, so everyone saw her back the first day. So they were like, "Wow, hi, how are you? You had how's the baby? Blah blah blah," And the more they're asking her about about her baby, she's crying. She just tears are falling down her cheeks when she starts talking about a baby, and they don't understand. They're saying, asking, "Why are you crying?" And she says, "I'm sorry, I'm not. I shouldn't be crying." But she just says she misses a baby. She just want to be in work here. She's not ready to work. She wants to be with a baby. She misses her. Um, so people don't know what to do. Do they ask her about a baby? Do they not? Because she just can't stop crying. So they just stay quiet. Um, Give me a minute. I'll be back. Hi guys. Hi guys. So sorry about that, and I hope I'm not. This story is not that boring. For those who have been listening, it's been an hour now, almost 1 hour of me talking, and I hope I'm not being really boring. Well, this is just a story that it's a real life story. Um, so yeah, where was I up to? So this lady's realizing her life has changed, and even more, it got even worse when she had to go back to work. Like many people, many parents, it's not always an easy transition going back to work after giving birth. It causes a lot of changes in the family dynamic. So you just have to find ways around it on how to make everything work. You know. Um, but. it's not easy for everyone. Not everyone find it easy. So for in this particular case, this lady, um, she go. I don't know if it was the hormones, because one person in the workplace told her, "Oh, it's just probably hormones. That's probably just your hormones, because you obviously you just had a baby and now you're back in work." Um, and so obviously when you talk about your baby, most what you think all you're thinking about is your child, right? Because you still have all those hormones going on in your body, and all you're thinking about is your child because you're not out of that yet, because the child is still a little baby. um and all she wants to be is home with a baby, not at work, because she can't stop thinking about a baby. She's been thinking like, is the baby crying? Is the baby? She's just thinking about taking care of a baby, but she can't do that because she's at work. She's thinking about nursing a baby, breastfeeding, and all that, but she can't do that because she's at work, and you don't take babies to work, right, with you. Um, so it was a big, big, big change. That was the biggest change she had to face. Although she's been noticing that, yeah, things will be different the minute she got pregnant. Um, along that whole journey, she knew things would be different, but living it and living it and feeling it is different. It's complete different. So that's when she realized she's depressed. She's not happy. She's not happy that she has to be back in work. She's not happy that she can't be at home and just be a full time mom because of money, finance. Not because the husband is lazy and can't make the money, but it's just because everything is too expensive and they can't cut on some things anymore. Um, and so that's why she became depressed. She never been depressed. Well, not as depressed anyway. She got really sad, and that has been going on because after that they had another one. Don't ask me why, but they did. And then they had another one and another one. So they decided, well, these kids need siblings, so they might as well have siblings. And they ended up giving them siblings. But in terms of the situation, this lady still doesn't know what she wants to do for a career. But one thing she realized, if you ask her what do you want to do for a living to make money, what is the thing that really that you do that will pay you, that will make you money, um, enough to live on, that you would call a career? What is it? She can't say what. She doesn't know still. But one thing for sure is she loves being a mom. She loves spending time with her kids. And if she can find a career in that, that will be her that would be a career. That would be the thing that she would say, yes, this is what I want to. This is what she wants to do. She just want to be a mom. She want to be look after babies. She loves babies. She always loves babies. Like if she see walking out there and she sees a little child, she's happy. She just loves how cute they are and all that. And then now that she had her own, she realized that's it. That's what she wants to do. So I don't know if she can ever find a way to turn that into a career and make money. That would be it for her. Um, It's funny because this lady is very smart, very independent, very hardworking. Yet she doesn't know what she wants to do for a career. She doesn't know what her career path is. That's weird. That some people see that and they think this is random. It doesn't make sense. You should know. Someone like you should know. But no, she doesn't. But anyway, I'm gonna end this live now because it's been 1 hour and there's not many people near. So I don't know. It's probably the fact that it's not everyone is cup of tea, and not everyone is finding it as interesting. So what I'll do is, I'll probably make a long video of this, and I'll just put it out there. So for now, thank you very much for those who have joined in and listened and subscribed. I'm grateful, and thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.